Good morning, everybody. As you might be able to tell, it's me, best pop star of the year, Chaperone here, and oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it is Snapshot Day, my dudes. In today's gigantic and first snapshot of the year, Mojang has gone ahead and updated just about every biome in the entire overworld. Even better, well, there's a lot of good news. Do me a quick favor, tap that like button, subscribe if you aren't yet. Stay tuned, I'll be live a little bit later, checking it all out, and let's dive in. Everything begins with a brand new world inside of this snapshot, and wait a second, experiments no more. Every single thing added in today's video is not an experimental feature. It's just like straight up here. Now, out of excitement, I of course want to experience all of this stuff together with you, but out of excitement, I had to make a world. Right before this video, I jumped in and what is the very first thing that I see? But oh my god, the wild update, the artwork. I mean, it's not really here, but at the same time, it's kind of here, guys. Over the course of today, we'll be stopping at a ton of different biomes that have a bunch of different changes, but the big one here is, oh my gosh, the beautiful brand new birch forest biome. Take a look at this thing, dotting all over the ground here, a brand new flower block called the wildflower. Jumping down on ground in game here, this flower is going to be very reminiscent to the pink petal, a cherry blossom flower, if you can remember that one. This new flower right here, of course, it's yellow and white, it's beautiful. It's properly called the wildflower. Inside of the inventory, the wildflower, well, it turns into yellow dye. This is going to be a 1-to-1 recipe. This is exactly, specifically identical to the pink one. Whew, they heard me, they knew the childhood me loved the color yellow. It's my favorite color. They added it to the game, definitely in honor of me, absolutely. Interesting thing here, when I bottomeel this one right here, I don't know if that's how it works with the pink petal, is it? Like, if I place one of these down, I thought it grew the... Oh, no. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'll make sure to cut that one out. As you might have guessed here, it's a rotational flower, which means if I spin and place it on the block, you know, it's like placing on a different corner of the block every single time. On a single block here, you can go ahead and place up to 4 wild flowers, and wow, that's just wonderful. I love that they're adding more flowers that actually, like, multiply on a block. That's so good for detailing. It's also so similar to the pink one, too. Little feature wish here. I don't know if how they could actually do it, but it would be really cool to be able to mix the pink petals and the wildflowers on a single block, right? The wildflowers, they're gorgeous, but we need to go ahead and carry on walking through the biome because maybe you noticed in the background all over the place, are there leaves actually properly leaving all over the place? Because... gosh, it sure seems like there are. I need to take a seat and take a look at this whopper of a list right here. Leaves and block particles. All leaves now have a chance of spawning leaf particles. That goes for, well, did I say all leaves? And this is crazy kind of fire, actually. And one of the greatest acts of foreshadowing, a little bit of hinting of all time, the pale leaf from the last update. It got the functionality, and now inside of this update, every single, did I say it yet? All of these leaves all have a falling leaf particle now. Now, just like how it works with the pale leaves and the cherry blossom leaves, of course, the more leaves that you get in an area, the more often you're going to be able to experience this particle effect. What I'm super curious about here and uninformed on is, are these leaf particles going to actually be different for every block? That tinting looks a little bit darker than the birch one, right? This small little addition, well, it's just that, a small little addition, but it's such a beautiful change here. The fact that leaves will actually fall from everything now, even illogically speaking. Have you ever seen a pine tree in real life? Do leaves actually fall from that? Hey, look, scratch that. It's not time for arborist talk today. Never mind, I didn't say anything. Ooh, the leaves feel so beautiful. I can't wait to actually, like, walk around the world because it's just different, you know? As you start to actually walk around a real world and leaves actually fall all around you while you're in the forest, it just, the ambiance, it feels so good. Now we just need some, like, beautiful birds fluttering and bluttering in the background, right? Like, that would make it. Now you keep leaves in the back of your mind for a second, because next up, I'd like to quiet down a little bit and take a look at some new sounds, the iron blocks. Ooh, so as expected, every single iron block here seems to be sharing a similar sound, but whoa, that's crazy feeling. That feels heavy. When we walk on it, okay, it said it's a new sound, but that sounds familiar, right? Somebody help me out. Build my iron farm in the old update. Walk around in the yield of it for a quick second. Wowie. That's a tasty 3D and crunchy sounding sound. I love it. Alright, now the last Minecraft drop, the Pale Garden biome, added to the game just about a month ago now at this point. Inside of this update, I don't know if you can tell right here, but right from the bat, the Pale Garden biome. I mean, they listen to the feedback. This thing is massive. I always hoped that this would happen. They put a big emphasis on feedback with this new drop system, but they've done it. Inside of this new drop, the snapshot, well, we've got a bunch of updates to the last drop. All right, so no fog still. Maybe, hopefully, next snapshot, fingers crossed, but walking around, flying around inside of this biome, this thing is absolutely massive. According to the changelog directly, the Pale Garden is now going to occupy more space that was once occupied by the Dark Oak Forest biome. Because this change probably affected woodland mansion generation a little bit, woodland mansions will now actually be able to generate inside of the Pale Garden biome as well. That's a little bit interesting and might complicate the lore a little bit, but wait a second. Did you see something? Oh, we did see something. Oh, you give it just a second. Now, it's an exciting day. My adrenaline is pumping. I don't remember what it was before, admittedly, but the map color of the pale oak leaf and the sapling, it's brand new. That makes sense. It looks good. Ooh-wee, one of the greatest changes of all time to my dear friend, the creaking. I can't believe they've actually done it, but name tags, they work. For this one, a little bit of science involved. If we go ahead and flip things over to nighttime, place the pale oak log down, creaking hard, another pale oak log, a creaking friend will actually spawn. If I go ahead and name tag this creaking, because remember that it has a creaking heart block, this is very important for this trick, but if I go ahead and name tag the creaking right here, it now has a wonderful name. I wonder if it's a hidden message. Now, let's say, theoretically, I was in 100% survival right here, walking around, and I place my bed down. I go ahead and jump into the bed. I take a quick nap, hopefully not fall off my platform. Yeah, that's perfect. And check this out. Even though the creaking heart is off, which, by the way, is that a slightly new texture or what? That looks a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. It's daytime now, and the creaking has all of its powers. If I look away from the thing, it will charge me. Excuse me, sir. It'll charge me just like before. During the daytime, if I go ahead and smack at this buddy, it will go over to this log, but interestingly here's the little difference. During the daytime, the creaking does not seem to form any resin at all. It'll persist and live, so maybe useful for a contraption or maybe a mini game or something, but no resin is birthed at all. So the texture here, you check this out, 100% absolutely different. When the creaking heart is in between two logs now, it has a new dormant texture. When it's fully off, like the log setup is not correct or complete, it looks like that. And just as you might have guessed, if I break the heart during the daytime, the creaking creaks around and then disappears. Now, unless my little eye is just missing it or misinterpreting this line right here, it doesn't say anything about creaking during the daytime not making resin. I don't know. It says dormant creaking hearts cannot spawn new creakings in resin, but I don't know. It's a beautiful change. I love that the devs have actually gone ahead and done this. If I hit a creaking just out of curiosity in the nighttime, you see the resin mechanic does definitely work how it's meant to. I guess I just don't know. Never mind. You know what? The more that I think about it, it's dormant during the daytime, so it just doesn't make resin. Voila, that's how it's meant to work. Alrighty, so leaves, I gave you a little sneak peek of it, but leaves, welcome the brand new fallen leaf block. This thing is technically called the leaf litter. All over the ground inside of the Dark Oak Forest biome, you will find this stuff littering the ground. It makes this biome feel a little bit empty on the ground now, like I'm realizing there are no flowers in here whatsoever. Also, is it just me, or are these trees a little bit more spaced out, at least over here, compared to how they used to be? Oh man, with spaced out trees aside, walking through here, this is beautiful. Now check this out. If I go ahead and punch the block, with my bare fist, I will get every single leaf that is on a given block. And every single leaf on a given block is just like the wildflower we talked about earlier. Check this out. You place it down, it's one on a block, place it down, and it, like, you know, continues to add up. It's so cool looking. You pick it up, you place it down on the ground. If you have more, you can go ahead and add them to a block. What if I bone meal it? Can I bone meal the leaves? Well, no, that's not how that works. You actually don't get more leaves from bone mealing the leaf. That makes sense. Also, if I bone meal the ground in an area where there were leaves, well, leaves don't grow on the ground. Come on, silly, pay attention. The sounds, listen. Ooh, it's crunchy. It's crunchy. It feels like I'm actually like walking around in the leaves in like the fall time or something like this. This stuff is going to go so hard with builds. Also, it is rotational. So if I stand and face that way, it goes on that corner. If I turn, you know, it's always going to be on that corner. But yeah, you could basically rotate it on a single block. Oh, but it's not just the Dark Oak Forest. No. The other forests have been affected too. Alongside the Dark Forest, on the ground inside of the forest and the wooded Badlands, you'll be able to find these leaf blocks all over the place. This is kind of crazy looking. And is this a setup for seasons? This is so beautiful. This is so wonderful. I wish there were a way to have like maybe different tints on these leaves in the different biomes, because that would be really, really cool. But yeah, wow, the forest biome feels so different. And look, seriously, is it just me, or do the trees feel more spread out here too? Did they change this? 'Cause I didn't see anything about it in the changelog. Ah, yes, but how does one actually get their hands on the beautiful, the brand new leaf block? Well, my friend, I've got you. I'm your knowledge base this year. It's going to be amazing. Really big year coming up for Minecraft, so I'm excited. Make sure you tap the like button if you haven't, and definitely subscribe. I'll be cooking up tons and tons of videos for you guys this year, diving into all of the latest and greatest Minecraft news, features, and fun little things. Well, while I was doing my spiel, take a look at this. The oak leaf is smelting up in the furnace and turning into leaf litter. But how about, let's say I had a vastly different leaf, maybe the cherry leaves or even the pale leaves. Well, how it works right now is if I swap that out for anything else and go ahead and smelt it up, just like with the normal classic leaf, I will actually get the same exact leaf litter. That feels a little bit fishy, but I mean, fair enough. I'm just happy the leaves are actually in the game. Same thing with the cherry leaves. You smelt it up, basically dry them out or whatever, and you get the actual thing. That's how you get your hands on the leaf litter. That makes it so easy. And now making a wood farm, I mean, it kind of has multiple uses. You could like harvest the leaves for the leaf litter decoration and then like, well, decorate or make a path or something. And this is going to work just the same for every single type of leaf that is in the game. Now, these leaf litter blocks, they can only be placed on the floor of something. You can't place them on the wall or anything. And it also seems as they are kind of limited to what blocks you can place them on. Like, I'm trying to place it on the furnace right now, and it just doesn't work for whatever reason. For the heck of it, we'll go ahead and try out a couple other blocks. Sand, can we place leaves on that? Unfortunately not. How about concrete? Can we place leaves on that? Unfortunately not. In common theme here, you can see that the leaves, they can only seemingly go on, like, grass right now. I don't know if this is maybe behind the scenes because the coating is pulled from the cherry petal leaf or something, but yeah, this is a huge letdown. Absolutely, you should be able to pile leaves on every single block in the game. Mojang, come on, please. What in the world is going on? It's not real, right? You can't even put the leaves on the leaves. Wait a second. This doesn't make sense. We've got a biome update to the meadow. See if you can go ahead and spot it. So, aside from those beautiful new wildflowers, they'll pop up in a couple of biomes. Do you see the other change? It involves grass. Maybe that there is less short grass. Oh yeah, I just told you the change. By the way, the wildflowers we talked about earlier on, you'll be able to find them in the birch forest, the old growth birch forest, and the meadow biome. Now this update is shaping up to be fascinating, with tons of updates all over the entire overworld already. I mean, I wonder where we're going to go next, hopefully like maybe even next week. Next up though, in this video, this week, let's go ahead and head over into the nether. We have an interesting change I told you about a month ago in this video that has made it into the game. So yes, at last it happened. It finally happened. The piglin, zombified piglin, it's been kind of weird for a long time. And basically, let's say I had these mobs falling into my gold farm and they were being taken out by entity cramming. Well, when they were taken out due to entity cramming, well, all of those fancy little drops, like a gold ingot and stuff, they would drop even though I didn't take them out. That's gone. It's over. If you want the special zombified piglin loot, you will now need to take them out yourself and not due to like entity cramming or falling or anything like that. It's a little bit of a gold farm nerf. However, there was some speculation about mobs not being able to maybe finally spawn on top of the nether ceiling, and no, that change is not here. Mobs will still be able to spawn up on top of the nether roof if you like build the conditions and get it just right. It is a lodestone day, my dudes. So in one of the interesting teasers, they posted a picture of a rock and people were like, whoa, another rock coming to the game. No. Instead, it's all about the lodestone. Previously crafted maybe something like this or whatever with the netherite ingot. No longer. Instead, it's an iron ingot to craft your hands a lodestone. That's kind of beautiful. It makes this block so much more accessible. Imagine building a floor out of these things. You could actually do it now. It's beautiful. The reasoning behind this change, they stated that it is meant to make the lodestone a little bit more accessible early game. And to make the lodestone even more accessible as well, across the overworld from time to time, the ruined portal. Whenever you find one of these things, hopefully you find it up on the surface a little bit more easily, the lodestone is now included in the potential loot table. So let's see there, we are 1 for 1. On our next ruined portal, do we get a lodestone? We get a lodestone, 2 for 2. Maybe while we're at it, can we go 3 for 3? The ultimate three-peat of all time. A lodestone, please, baby. All right, moment of truth. We open the chest. 3 for 3. Oh, yeah, we are 3 for 3. These things seem to be so common. I love the idea that lodestones are now actually obtainable. One little change. Developers, hear me out on this one. Sort of like we can with the banner on a map, we should totally be able to use a map on a lodestone, and then a lodestone symbol would show up on that map. That would make the lodestone block so much more useful, and like, I mean, this thing is all about location after all. If we can use a compass on it, why not a map to just simply, like, get a lodestone marker, right? Tell me about it down below. All right. Last things last today, at least for now. There are tons and tons of changes, over 70 bug fixes going on, but The pig. Oh, this little guy has been the same for so long. What if I told you there are more pigs now? Would you believe me? All right, well, I'm not gonna lie. If you saw the thumbnail, you would probably believe me. 3, 2, 1, warm pig. What in the world am I looking at here? So the animalologist, zoologist, whatever. What pig is this being based off of from the real world or creature or whatever? This is a warm pig. It's going to spawn in a lot of the warm biomes inside of your game. And oh my gosh, like look at that guy. It's orange and the ears, they look like crispy or, gosh, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry, dude. Don't look at me like that. So this new mob variant thing, I'm so curious if this would be carried out with some of the other mobs, hint, hint, move bloom, wildflower, but the normal pig, you'll be able to find this in many of the old biomes, for example, the plains biome, but if the biome starts to get a little bit more warm, like let's say the jungle, maybe the savanna biome, then it will automatically spawn in this biome as that warm variant. Meanwhile, flip it around over to the colder biomes inside of Minecraft, and this pig will be able to spawn as the cold pig. Oh my god. Okay, so if I had to pick a favorite, I'm sorry, it's the cold pig all the way. Look at that light, like, little coat that it has right there, the fur or whatever's going on. Oh, you are a beautiful friend. Only for science would I ever do this if I take this pig out, which is gonna have exactly the same amount of health. I'm a professional PvPer, as you can see there. Well, when I take it out, the drops have not changed at all. No new items have been added, tragically. It's stunning, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and I think I'm in love with it. This new pig is so good looking. Interesting little fact about the pig here. Let's say I had one normal pig and then maybe one cold pig. If I went ahead and bred said two pigs together, what pig variant will I get when I make a baby? Well, it's not going to depend on the biome. Instead, it will be randomly chosen from the parents' coats. That'll mean that theoretically you could travel around your world, bring these new pigs back to your base, breed them up, and get even more of those new fancy pig outfits. Wow, these changes, all of them today, they're so relatively minor and beautiful, but I think it's going to add up to something stunning in this next update around the overworld. So we end with the viewer requests section. What would you like to see more of in a potential follow-up? And where do you think this update might go next when it comes to overhauling the overworld and making it feel a little bit more real? Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and stay tuned. Later today, I plan on live streaming onto this channel, this very snapshot, checking out even more of the stuff, testing mechanics, and more. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been me, Mr. You Heard It Here First. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.